Okay, well, let's see if we can do a little tour of our experimental stats Blackboard presence and what's happening in the course. So when you come on, I believe you'll always come to the announcements page. Right now there's no announcement because it's early enough. I haven't made an announcement for you yet, but I will try to keep you posted here with announcements. But then what you want to do is go to Start Here, and so there's a nice welcome to the course, some initial tasks you have to do. Look over the syllabus, get familiar with the structure. That's what this video is kind of about. Communication protocols, that sort of thing. And so let's kind of look at that. Syllabus. Okay, I can get to it over here on the left. And if I click syllabus, great. There we come to the syllabus. I can click that, take a look at the syllabus. Here are the college-wide policies. If I click there, and then I did a little video, a quick tour of the syllabus, all these little quick tours, but you can play that if you wish to kind of hear me talk eloquently about the syllabus, or maybe not so eloquently. But so we can go back here to Start Here. Let's see, and of course there's your textbook that's mentioned in the syllabus, and again, if we click there, we see this, there's the textbook. You can order a paperback copy from Amazon. I guess I think it's still $8.49. I wouldn't personally. Here's a direct link to the textbook. My suggestion is you could either go to the main site or this direct link and get the PDF and save it to your computer so you can look at it offline. And again, a quick tour of the textbook if you want to take a look at that. Then of course over here we have the discussion board with lots of things. Now this homework forums, that's for you. I will try to take a look at them, obviously, and answer questions at times. But I'm really hoping you all can try to answer each other's questions within this thing. Those of course are ungraded, but then they're the graded discussions. We'll see those again in a moment. And I'll leave those and just go back here. So we've got the welcome. Now it says look at the structure of each module, and so we'll go here in we'll open in a new tab here, module 1, so we can see these things. So we've got a module introduction, which is an elevator pitch. And so as we look here, here's the module introduction. That's the one thing I haven't done yet on this first module, is give that little elevator introduction. Then what you'll see in that, notice here it says each module has that. Then learning objectives, and so that's the next thing you should see in a module. And so what do we expect you to get out of this, and that hopefully can help you. Then the tasks, of course, that's probably in many ways the most important thing to notice, because what do you need to do? And that's set up, it says complete all these items. Now most of the items, as it says over here, are due Sunday. Now even for us, that'll be, I think, usually Sundays. This is kind of set up for an online course, but I think that will still work for us Sundays. If that needs to change by the first day of class, these will get changed a bit, but that will be the Sunday at the end of the module. Okay, so for instance, the first module is the first week, so that would be the Sunday at the end of that first week. And then now the discussions, they need to be due a little earlier so people have time to read them. You can read each other's and make comments. Okay, so and so it just lists it out here. And notice here these first four, nothing in bold, no points mentioned. These are for you to do. You just want to do these things. Really, you do. They'll help your understanding and so forth. And they kind of just walk you down through all these items. It mentions what textbook sections this module covers, so you can go look at that. It says go look at this prelude to module 1. It's just in this case 3 videos, not very long, and they're just to help us get some context for the module and get us started. Then look at the module 1 instructional content. That's a folder here, and if I go into that folder, what I find are videos. It'll mostly be in this folder. It will mostly be videos where I'm going through and talking about the concepts in the text. Notice, this says section 1.1, section 1.2, section 1.3. Now here I put sections 1.4 and 1.5 together. There are a couple videos on that, and so that's kind of what you expect in that instructional content. So hopefully those will be enlightening. If you have an idea for a video, for instance, if you start asking questions and I don't really have a video on that, I might make a new video and add it to the instructional content of the course. And let's see, so so you do you look at all that instructional content, you read the textbook and so forth. You ought to be able to make a pretty good attempt on the homework exercises then from the book. Now, those aren't turned in, but they are part of the quiz. Okay, so I can take homework questions or similar questions to the homework and put those on the quiz. That's the idea there. Now here, deliverables, this is where you actually get points. So add to the module 1 discussion. So if you come down here, you'll see module 1 discussion. If you click on this, it takes you there. Now notice no items found because nobody's added to it yet. But notice it doesn't give you the description. And so what I suggest is you actually, when you are ready to go read it and to add to it and so forth, I say, use this link up here to the discussion board. You can go there and find the module 1 discussion. But the description is also here, and it's a graded assignment and so forth, and it mentions, okay, you've got these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible things to investigate. You pick one. Your classmates might pick the same one, but that's why we limit you to around 250 words. And I'm somewhat of a stickler. If you have 220, that's probably fine. If you have 280, that's probably fine. As far as the word count, if you have under 200, no, not enough. If you have over 300, definitely too many. I don't want you to put that much in, partly because I want each person, the sooner you do this, the easier it is to be original, because I don't want you just rehashing what somebody else has done. And so you can you can go to the discussion board, see if anybody else has picked your topic. You can look and see what you might want to write about, and go check what they have, because what do I grade on? I want you to be near the 250 words. Relevance to the prompt. I mean, if I'm, well, lights again, I really need to be much more animated, I guess. Jump up and down or something. Relative to the relevance to the prompt, so if I'm asking you something, for instance here, explain why a categorical variable cannot be changed to a numerical variable, but a numerical variable could be changed to a categorical variable, and be sure to use an example. And if you start talking about your cute little labradoodle that you just got, that's not really relevant to the prompt, so that would be bad. Uniqueness of the contribution. If you just seem to rehash what somebody else has written, well, you probably won't get as many points then. And the quality of writing. I mean, use complete sentences, take some time on it, and proper referencing. Now, I don't expect any particular style of reference, but by proper reference, if you make a claim, you need to be able to back it up with a reference somewhere. And on many of these prompts, I'll ask you to provide the link and that sort of thing. Cite the wherever you got this. Maybe I'm asking you to find an example of a paper that looks at something. So it's nice to be able to find these things. So that's what I mean by proper referencing. If there's an author, a title, those, let us know what those are. Give us a link, that kind of thing. 7 points possible on the original. Then I want you to reply to at least 2 different authors' posts. Ask them a relevant question. Add a little more detail, like they mentioned something, but you actually saw something else as you were just thinking about ideas, and so you might provide that extra information. You might add a new link. Again, the things that show up in the discussion can show up on the quiz, and so you'll want to take a look at that. And you get 3 points pretty much if you reply to somebody in a coherent manner, and you do it once, you get 2 points for that. And then if you reply to the second person in a coherent manner, you get a point for that. And so that's how you get your extra 3 points, and that could get you as much as a 10 out of 10. Okay, so the discussion is all given to you there. Then this mentions, after the discussion, it says go do the project. Okay, so the project, come down here, and they tend to be in the order listed on the task. If I click that folder, I go here, and in this case I've got a welcome to this module where I introduce it a little bit, tell you about the guided projects, just to kind of get you started on that. Then here is the guided project. I click on that PDF, and I've got instructions. Okay, and I go through, and notice it says task. You should do these things. Now, just because you do these things don't mean they'll get turned in. If I come down here to your report deliverable, required items in the report, each of these instructions will have that. Okay, so the required items, and it goes through, and these first few pretty much give you an outline. Do these things and write coherently, you're going to do well. It's that simple. You just need to do it. And then here's the grading rubric. 50 points, and all the required items are there. There's 16 right there. Then I hit the learning outcomes for the course. I evaluate those, 0 to 4 points. And I also just, grammar, good flow, and notice I say can be, oops, if I can highlight it here. Well, I highlighted everything, but this last part, can be understood without the knowledge of the project description and instructions. In other words, you write this report as if you're writing it to someone who's never seen all the stuff up here. Okay, they haven't seen it. So that's how you know you've written at least partially know you've written a good report. Okay, so that's the guided project, and it's there, and here's an upload. Some other aspects to go with it. Some data sets, so there's lots of stuff in this first one. Box plot template, actually I'm not sure you need that. And then here are some videos. Okay, bunch of videos. Let me go back to the description. I left that a little too soon. Let's see, so okay. So here, notice this says the video, open spreadsheet file from link and save it on Blackboard, shows me working through tasks 1.3 to 1.5. Okay, and if you go to other tasks, you'll see similar statements about videos. And so that's the idea with these videos down here. Okay, so that's projects. Let's go back to this, and finally quiz resources. When I go to quiz resources, now all you see right now is interactive practice, and if I click on that, that takes me off of Blackboard, and this has a couple of interactive practices. I open a pop-up here, and I didn't read what was going on there, but it says use the table below, using the table below, results for a study using my wording. I'm glad I opened that up. The wording doesn't look quite right on that. I'll have to take a look at that, but determine the most applicable statement anyway. And this reflects things in your textbook and reading that we know that you as students have trouble with, and so we're trying to give you some extra practice. And so I can go here and say, oh, I think it's A. I can check my answer. Oops, it says consider the proportion from each group that improved and try again. So I guess that wasn't the right answer. When I do get a correct answer, which actually kind of looking at it, my guess is any difference appears to be by chance. I can check my answer and it says, yes, I'm correct. Great. I can show the solution, and there it talks about what's going on and tells me why it's that I think it's probably by chance, and this just echoes the textbook. And I can create a new problem with new numbers, kind of do the same thing, and just keep doing that. These problems all look pretty much the same. You do a few, make sure you can do them. There's a good chance something like this problem will show up on the quiz, so that's why it's in the quiz material. And then I can close the window and go on, and here's another practice. The variable concentration is most likely concentration. A concentration, that's usually a number, so numerical, and concentrations can take kind of anything, so numerical and continuous. I'll check my answer. Yay! Now see, there I'm animated. I'm correct, and I can show the solution, numerical and continuous, since we can imagine measuring it to any precision. Great. And again, I can create new new problems where it's asking about a variable and asking me to try to figure out what kind it is. Again, we find students have a bit of problem with that, so we've got some extra practice. We can close that window. So you'll have practice like this. Of course, these are not the only things that can show up on the quiz. Anything from the module can show up on the quiz. But what you'll be given, you'll be given another link where you can go sign in for the quiz, and actually you'll have two links available, the first quiz attempt and the second quiz attempt. And I think that gets us through the end of this module. The only thing that is not in Module 1 that is in other modules is that here it says a final project question presentation. So if I click that, this also has instructions. And what we're trying to do here is just get you started on your final project. So this first one in Module 2 asks you to develop a research question, so to speak. You won't actually solve the problem in that way. You'll do sort of some pseudo solving of it. But here, like the module projects themselves, it will ask you to do some things. It'll have required items, and so you'll need to determine a question, and here's some example things to help you think about it. The biggie for each of these is this stuff. You'll create a short slide presentation, and in this case about your question. So title 1 or slide 1, a title slide with your name. Not too hard. Slide 2 contains your question and what interests you about the question. Okay, and title 3 contains a description of your 2 variables that you think go with that question. And of course, by the time you get to Module 2, this will make much more sense. But that is the other item that can be in your task list. Go back here. And that kind of gets us through everything. Now, the only difference, all these modules then have that same structure until you get to Module 8, the final project, and it will have much less to it. It's just saying, hey, in this one you need to write your report and you need to post your final presentation. Pretty straightforward. Of course, there will be more materials to help you with that, but that is Module 8. And Module 8 will be open the whole course. These other modules here, they will get open sort of as we go. So Module 1 and 2 will be open when you start the course, and then as we go, we'll open up the other modules a little ahead of time is the plan. But Module 8 will always be open, so you can always refer back to the final project and the description to help you while you're doing some of these other things in the other modules. So there we go. I don't know that was a truly quick tour, but I think that gets us through just about everything. Let's see, where were we? Yeah, if we go back to start here, I guess the only other things, I'm going to allow you to use the Decimals calculator. It's really nice for calculation as well as the spreadsheets. So here's a little introduction to that, and it tells you how to create your own free account. I made it for a different class, but it'll work just fine for you. And then here's something I'd like everybody to create: a Voicethread introduction. And the idea there is that if you have this practice with Voicethread, the more practice you have, by the time you get to the actual final project presentation, it'll be a piece of cake doing it. So this is just an introduction where we can see each other. So you'll go here to Voicethread to get your free account, and then once you have your free account, you'll go here to join our group, and that's where you'll actually publish your presentations. Okay, that I think gets us to the end of this. look over technology requirements, student resources, all that stuff. But that is the structure of the modules and how the course is laid out. All right, call that good.